not really, I'm scrapping. Apologies for yesterday's video. I made a huge boo-boo right at the very beginning. I started to do a voiceover and I very rarely stop and redo it because I like to just be genuine, straight up, what comes out of my mouth, bang, that's it. Sometimes I waffle a bit too much, so I have to go back. Now, unfortunately, with yesterday's video, that has already been seen over 100 times. The first part, I had to redo it because of whatever reason, and my daughter was actually messaging me, so I had to stop and redo it. Now, that being said, unfortunately, I can't go, I've repaired the video, but I can't delete the video and reload it, if that makes sense. So, unfortunately, that's annoying because it's on a really good video that I really enjoyed doing. So, today's video, what am I doing? I have, through my channel, I have actually met a lovely group of women and that are local to me, and they get together and they scrapbook, and they just so happen, one of them happens to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Anyway, long story short, as I've said, I've made this channel so I can meet people and get to know people and so on and so forth. So we get together every so often. I'd like to say it's once a month, but it's once a month pending, if my kids are sick or whatever. Anyway, so what happens is they teach the class and they show us exactly where everything's to go. Well, that's not really my scrapping style, but I still go along. I still enjoy it. I have a bit of a play. I get to see different products, all that sort of jazz. Anyway, I've ended up with a half a dozen packs that I've bought, or kits, I suppose you would call it, where everything's supplied, as you can see it off to my left there. And they give me a picture and you basically copy it, which is great. But we all know I don't do well with that. So what I've decided to do with these few packs that I've got is I've decided not to look at the picture. I've decided I'm going to pull out what goes with that kit, and I'm going to create a page the way I would normally create a page, using the same ephemera, the same stamped bits and pieces and whatnot. So I cannot tell you what these particular papers are or where to get them from, so I apologize for that. However, enjoy the process for what it is. It is literally like that border, it was already cut out. So when I get together with Tina and Tanya and the other ladies, it's already cut out for me. It's already like prepared, so to speak. So I had a border, I had that black and white polka dot, I had the black paper, the black cardstock for the background, and I thought, you know what, I need to cut it down. Now you can see that there is a mistake here, but in the end it doesn't look too bad. I've got the page around the wrong way. Stick with me here. I started putting it down, and this is the way you see it now is how in my mind it was supposed to be. But my 11.5-inch side is top and bottom instead of left and right. But you know what? At the very end, I like it. It turned out fine. So I did. It is a bit of a challenge for me to do this because it's, I'm used to having whole bits of paper or punches or whatever. I've got the cutouts, I've got the crystal things, the pearl things, I've got all of that. The only thing that I bought in that was my own was, what was it? Oh, the liquid pearls. So Ranger's liquid pearls, and I used blackberry. That was the only thing that I added to the kit. Now, I didn't use all of it. The reason I struggle with some of this stuff and some of these kits and the process is because some of the florals and stuff just aren't me. They're just not me. It's that simple. They're beautiful. They're great, but they're just not the way I scrap. So some of them I didn't end up using, and that's fine. I'll just stash them and use them for something else. I might use them for mixed media. I might use them for um, a smaller mini album. So it's not wasted. It's just not necessarily all my style. So I actually went back to try and find the photo in our Facebook group after I had completed this page so I could show you what the ladies completed in the class versus what I made up out of my head. And I couldn't find them. I can't find it. So I couldn't have followed the picture if I wanted to. So here I'm just using a bit of foam and I'm just raising up. So I've cut the corners off the black and white. I've tucked it behind the border. I'm not sure whether the purple side was what was intended with the layout or whether it was meant to be the other side, because obviously all these papers are double-sided. I ended up going with the purple mainly because, and some of you may have heard this, purple is like the Voldemort of scrapbooking paper. I love purple. I love creating with purple. I don't know where the theory of the Voldemort theory came from, but I have actually heard it said so many times. See, there's the back paper. That's what's on the back. I could have used that one, but I thought, no, challenge yourself. Do some purple. Haven't done any purple pages for a bit, I don't think. Well, not a whole purple. I've probably had elements. It's really funny, I got to let you know this. So I absolutely love getting on here and having a bit of a chin wag and whatnot. Now, on the last video, I was saying, and I'd love to repeat it so that you can actually hear it and understand it. I am absolutely beside myself with how many subscribers are supporting my channel. I've now got 670 subscribers. I literally am jumping out of my skin with excitement that people like what I do. You have no idea. From a mental health perspective, I think craft is fantastic. You don't need, and this is something that I am trying and I hope I'm delivering on my channel, you don't need to necessarily be outlaying hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month for a particular kit or a particular what do they call them? When you sign up and you get X amount sent to you every month, subscription, that's it. I didn't. Can you see? Bam, that's where I realized I did it the wrong way, and I had no more purple, but that's okay. It's all right. I actually don't mind having the double lines on the left and the single line on the right. I actually don't mind that. This is where I'm trying to make my mind up what photo I'm going to have. My photos are actually, I have a heap of them printed and whatnot, and I need to print some more. Does anyone else get a really, and they don't want to print photos out? I can't even explain it. I have so many photos, which we all do. I have about 80,000 photos, more than that now, probably, on my computer, and I print my photos at home. This particular photo that I'm using, I think it was printed through Snapfish eons ago. Like, dinosaurs roamed the earth. That's how long ago it was. It was just, I can't even think how long ago it was. So see these big giant pink flowers? Okay. They're pretty. I like them. But they're not me. They're just too big. The little purple ones, I can work with them. They're small enough that I can work with them. Here I have a little bit of a fiddle. Now I've left this here because I wanted you to see that even if you're handed every single thing that coordinates and it's a perfect fit, it doesn't necessarily just come together easily. So this is where I was having a little bit of a fiddle. I knew I wanted to use these black, I'm going to call them, I don't even know, they're leaves, they're sprigs, they're something or other. And I'm trying to, so I'm using the backside of these other flowers to see if I can use them like that. And because the background, I didn't want to do any mixed media on this page. And because of that, this bottom section's just too dark and I really struggled with it. So what I ended up doing was stepping back, and I literally, and I encourage you to do this, stand up and take 2 or 3 steps back from your page and just rethink, just ever so slightly, rethink what you're looking at and does it look okay. For me, because there were so many spots, I just felt that I needed some more lines or something on the page. So this is what I come up with. Now these are just the offcuts from where I cut them off from the corners. And I decided, you know what? I actually quite like that. Just that lineal element at the bottom. And because it's purple, and this is where I just went, just make the decision. Just do it, Karren. Just don't even think about it. The only thing I really lined up was, see the dots on the side, and I lined up the angle. So when I glued it down, it was very, very, it looked intentional. And if you watch the video, you can tell it was far from intentional. So I ended up popping this one on there as well, just because I wanted it to sort of go up and behind the photo. That's what I was running with. All I'm doing here is giving myself a little bit of a break in the black at the very bottom. That's all I'm trying to do. And they're scraps. They're leftover bits from the edge. So all I did was minimize the border, left me with these 1/4 inch pieces, and I just stacked them on top of each other just to give me a different angle, just a purple bit. So that worked. So now I'm fiddling with, I have started watching, okay, I have to let you know. So I have multiple streaming services that so we have, what do we have here? Foxtel, Paramount, Amazon, Prime, and Netflix. Well, all of those, and guess what I'm watching? My thing at the moment, I'm watching this show, and it's on YouTube, and it's a company called Adventures with Purpose. It's American, a few guys in America, and basically what they do, they're professional divers, and they search for missing people. So families get in touch with them. They do this all with the coin that they make from YouTube and from donations and whatever else. And they've got sonar equipment, and they have cold cases, and they go out and they search rivers, lakes, ponds. They call them ponds in America. To me, that'd be a dam. But yeah, it is seriously, if you don't see anything gory. It's nothing like that. It's literally, you see the behind the scenes stuff where they find cars in the most bizarre places. And yesterday I was watching one while I was doing this, and it just broke my heart, because this lady had, I don't know whether it was a suicide, I don't know whether it was an accident, truly didn't really focus. I was focusing on the scrapping at that point, and they found her car, and her poor husband just, he literally collapsed on the side of the dam. And this had been going for quite a few years, I think, at this point. And the thing that brought them back to this particular point was her dog, who was her best friend. When she went missing, they found her dog, and it was wet, and it was running up and down on the side of this pond, lake, river. And so these guys, Jared and Doug, they went back there, and they just peeled all the information back to the bare bones of it. And they went, well, if the dog was running here, there's got to be something here. Sure enough, that's where she was. So then they retrieved the vehicle and all that sort of thing. It's really, I apologize if you're not into anything like this. It's not at all gory, but it is, these people are truly, you need to pop over and have a look. If you're into anything like that, it's not glorified. It's not, it's adventures with purpose. Just do yourself a favor and have a quick look. If it's anything that, if you're like me, you scrap with something that going in the background, yeah, they're really good at what they do. So that's what I'm into at the moment, between watching all my favorite scrappers, who are my favorites at the moment. MK Gunn, she's back doing, for a month there she was doing just embellishments, and I don't really do embellishments, so that sort of wasn't really me for a month. But she's back. She's doing pages and stuff again, which is really good. And what am I doing here? Just really quickly, I'm just running my gold gel pen around. This breaks up the black, and it allows it to pop a little bit more. The still photos will be over on Facebook. If you're not a part of our Facebook group, jump on over. Everyone's nice, everyone's kind, and it's just a place where you can share your creations. Tina, if you're watching, it would be amazing if you could pop your page up and show everyone, this is what it should have looked like, and this is what Karren created. That would be interesting, actually. So yeah, so here I'm just having a little play, and I just add a bit more mixed media. Who else am I watching at the moment? Janet Fritz for Galaxy Girl Creations. She's actually quite sick at the moment. I think she's had COVID or something. So she did a page the other day which I absolutely adored, and it has inspired me big time. And with this particular page, it came with circle. I don't know if the circle was cut on, I think it's a die. Either that or it was cut out on an electronic cutting machine. But it's a circle. And when I saw Janet's latest video, and she had all the sequins and the sewing and the circles, and I'm like, oh, that's inspired me. I want to do that. And then I saw this circle, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to use it on this layout because I want to do something with sequins and stuff like Janet did. So yeah, I'll do it a little bit different though, but I've got a different idea in my head, but it's got the circles. So now all I'm doing is, because the challenge that I'm setting myself is not to grab lots of extra pieces or extra ephemera, all that sort of jazz. I'm trying to just use what was supplied in the kit, so to speak. So I'm just running around with my gold pen, and as soon as I do this, it helps it pop. It definitely helps it pop. I wanted to add a metallic. That's something that I find really, really works. If you add metallic, whether you like gold, silver, bronze, copper, pewter, any of the metallic colors, if you add them to your page, automatic pop. You know, some people like splatters, lots of splatters. I didn't think this page was a splatter page, but I ended up going around the gold, around all the purple, and that really, really made it pop. And then I add in a little bit of white gel pen as well. I use my Uniball Signo broad white pen, and just to add some highlights here and there, and it worked so well. I was really, really happy with how this page turned out. It's absolutely nothing like the original, I'm sure of it, but hey, it works. I love it. So today I'm going to use some other papers and stuff that I got from the same lady, from the same team, where we all get together and have a look and have a play and all the rest of it. And again, I'm not really going to be looking at the picture of what was created. I'm just going to run with it off the top of my head and see what I come up with. So that's what I'll be doing for the rest of today. See how the white I'm just adding some little dots and little lines just to give the flower a little bit more dimension, and it totally worked. Completely worked. So at the end of this, that's just about all of it. So now I'm going to do the horrible bit that I hate doing, but it's the only way that my channel and the algorithm knows to show my page to people. If you subscribe to my channel, that really helps. If you like the picture, if you like the video, that also helps my channel. And comments also help. So that's why, one, I encourage you to comment to let me know, would you do it like that? Would you have done nothing like that? Would you have used the other side of the paper? Would you, instead of doing the purple, would you have used it's kind of like a moonlight, dusty moonlight sort of look on the back? And what would you do with those big giant pink flowers? What is it that you would do with that? I have thought about it, and I thought maybe if I cut them in half, I could stick them either side of a photo. I could maybe do something like that. But they're very two-dimensional. They're not... Maybe I could cut them and pop the little bits of the flower and set it up and make it three-dimensional. Now there's an idea. Didn't think of that yesterday. So I do my best thinking scrap-wise in the morning. Honestly, I do. So I was thinking there about adding some little glitz and stuff, but I changed my mind and I went, no, I'm going to just stick with some purple. So I ended up adding, this is the liquid pearls in Blackberry, and I just added some dots and I added them to the little sprigs down here, and it worked a treat. It was exactly what it needed to make them sort of not just look like... I did put a little bit of white in between the gold, and that was working, but then as soon as I put these dimensional... This stuff is, if you've never had liquid pearls, I would encourage you to get a neutral color, like either black or white, silver, gold. You know, there's a plethora of colors, honestly, and I'm slowly getting more, because as much as what are they called? The beads, the buttons. I can't think what they're called. Oh, for the life of me. The hard ones. I can't even think what they're called. They're great to just pop on a page and it's done. You don't have to worry about it being wet. I'm lucky enough that I've got a shelf in my room and I can use the wet media. So here's the close-up, guys. This is it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'm just showing you where the gold lines are, and I went around the outside of the black with my white pen. See how that just makes it pop that little bit more? They look really cute. And look at that leftover rubbish in the background, gives it something to sit on. The cherish, I did add a little bit of gold over the top of that because it was the flip side of the paper. and I just put a couple of dots in and around the flowers. And that's it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Click on my Facebook down below and join our group. Thanks for watching. Bye.